Good evening, Rajdeep.
Good evening, Nego. Pranam,
Pranam.
Mrs. Vikas.
Yes. Pranam.
Your good name,
Nilima. Most of the people call
Nilima.
Nilima.
Okay. So
Yes.
welcome, Nilima.
Actually, her name is Veena, but we all call her Nilima.
No, that's good. Yeah. Because see, what happens is if two persons are joining, no, only one name is appearing. So,
Yes. Yeah.
and that time that's why I have asked you. So you are welcome. Because if I don't mention name, you may think that you are not welcome. That is not true. So that's what. All right, I think now let us start our session today, and this today's is 10th of June 2023, and our topic, our session is liberation from negative thoughts affecting our life. So this is um, even though it is not Pranam. Even though it is not, negative thoughts are very what is called very appear to be highly spiritual topic, but it is a fact that all of us we know that it does affecting our life heavily. In fact, most of the things are affecting is our own negative thought that affects our own lives. So I'll come to the definition of negative thoughts. Then we'll go into the detail of our own analysis and share the experiences, and then we'll find out that finally what are the solutions and the mitigation measures that will be. I will explain at the end of this today's session. So to start with this. Uh, so what is negative thoughts affecting our life? So there are two elements here. First we'll go let me put the life, what we mean by life in our for understanding wise our terms. So I'm just, this is to remind you, I already explained earlier, our life is not out there. What is happening to you, what are the things happening externally, what others are saying about you, or what are the doing with you, or what you are facing in the outside world, that is not your life. Our common belief that our life is what we are facing in the life. It is not that. Our life is what are the experiences we have internally. That is our life. If our internal faculty is stopped, then our life stops. For an example, when you sleep, then there is no external input and your life stops that time from the conventional way of thinking life. Yeah. So your life is not out there. It is within. It is not without. Okay. So this is a common belief that I'm whatever I'm facing and situations and this and behavior from others and our monetary situations and all those kind of things, that is my life. My life is my family, my life is my job, my life is, they are part of, they are contributing factors of your life, but your life is what you are experiencing inside. So this is very important to understand. So what is happening inside you, what are the experiences you are undergoing inside, that is your life. The sequence of those experiences, your life. Okay. So your life, what is happening inside you, what is being, you can say, recording or experiencing, so that experience is heavily affected by our own thoughts, our own analysis of the things coming from outside. So your life is not what is happening out there. Many things may be happening, but if it is out of your sight, out of your immediate neighborhood, you may not get affected by it and your life will not change. But things are still happening out there. What you see, maybe there are 10 things happening, but you are giving importance to one thing. So that one thing will be more, recording of that will be more in your life. So that's how your life will be. You may be missing out many things happening in front of you. That will not be part of your life. Okay. Suppose sun is rising every day, but we don't appreciate the sun or appreciate the sunrise every day. That particular experience will not be part of our life. It's happening. We are all facing it, but that will not be part of your life. Something good has happened in our life, we didn't notice, we didn't bother, or we take it for granted. So it will not impact our experience of life. It is happening, but it will not be part of our life. Well, it will be, but not. It will not affect. It will not get any kind of recognition, importance. So in that way, it will not affect our life. Life will be looks like same as it is. It was. Anyway, so I hope it is clear that it is our life is what is happening inside us. And now, as our life is happening, what is experience inside us, so then we have to see which is the major contributing factor which make changes into that experience. And one of the primary factor of that is our own negative thoughts. Mostly our thoughts are negative. Even that's why our experiences are negative. They got contaminated by those negative thoughts. Okay, the rationale is clear. If we can somehow change that negative thoughts or reduce or stop the negative thoughts, then it will not affect our life. Because the main source of our life experiences become negative because of our own negative thoughts. So we'll talk about the characteristics of these negative thoughts, but first let us come into the traditional, psychological definition of so-called negative thoughts. What is meant by negative? So the psychological definition says thoughts that are, I'm talking the psychology, it's a science. So thoughts that are false and detrimental to self or others and pop up in your mind randomly, causing distress or anxiety, those are called negative thoughts. Okay, I'll read it again. Thoughts that are false and detrimental to self or others and pop up in your mind randomly, causing distress or anxiety. Those are called negative thoughts. Okay. Now, in this particular, so this thing is, it is detrimental self or others. So what it does, it's the thoughts, they trigger some kind of emotion. First of all, it is a randomly causing, means it is coming from nowhere and is randomly coming, and then when entering into our mind, it triggers the emotion. We'll go into little detail later on, what it does sequentially. Triggers the emotion, and that emotion, what it triggers, that becomes our experience. Okay. And we have the list of negative, what are the things that we'll discuss it in detail later on. But this is the thing it does. In quantum level, it's a psychological level, a quantum level, or if you go to that further, higher into the scientific definition of that. So the negative thoughts, their definition at the quantum level is thoughts that can magnetize and amplify denser emotions and energy within the person's body and electromagnetic field. Okay, I will read it again. So here it is talking all about the energy. So it is not giving the thoughts as a expression or the outcome of the product. It goes to the energetic level. So it says thoughts that can magnetize and amplify denser emotions and energy within the person's body and electromagnetic field. In other words, physical body and aura in the spiritual terms. Yeah. Denser emotion, what does that mean? You remember that we have David Hawkins, that the PVF, the scale that so there are 250 is neutral, below 250, anger and all those kind of things. So those are negative emotions, and they lower in the vibration. That is called denser. Here it is mentioned denser emotions means which is originated from those categories of that David Hawkins, that scale, which is below 250. Those are all called negative emotions. So this is that the scientific definition of that. So now let us go to the characteristics, analyzing the characteristics of the thoughts, what it does. So first is that first one is called, it develops into the three stages. So first one, the thought is, the characteristic of that thought, negative thoughts particularly, it creates an emotional response. Emotional response means it creates some kind of trigger. Just a few minutes back I was explaining, we get into emotional with these things. So it triggers some kind of emotional response within us. That's the characteristic. If it doesn't create any negative emotions, then we are okay with it. It is some normal thought. So this emotional the response that it creates, that what is emotion? Emotion is energy in motion. It disbalances the energy. It creates some kind of movement of energy within us. So you can say, suppose we are calm and quiet, and there is, we are still, so-called, no movement. Then some thought came, then it triggers something in us, some emotional response. Then we get carried away with that response. So when we get carried away with that, means from the stillness, whatever we were earlier, that thought has caused a movement within us, energetic movement, some energy of things are running. If this happens in the regular interval, or if it can also trigger some negative loop, means the same thing get repeated within us, negative emotions, the cycle is start, they can just take the ball rolling, so it starts rolling inside us. Yeah, that negative loop hits open and open, then the repetitive thing in our own mind, so repetitive thing leads us to be stressful. We become stressed with our own negative thoughts. It may trigger with something, but original, what it caused, the trigger, that has gone. Okay, but we are playing within our mind, and we can say that earlier days, the black color record used to come, the gramophone records. So there is some tracks in it. So if that one track is broken, then same line has been repeated again and again. No, it's called like a tuta futa record, or whatever you call it. So like that, it keeps repeating the same thing. It's called negative loop. The same old thing start repeating, and in the process, we get stressed up because it is cooking in our mind and repeating. And these things, as fundamentally, the issue here is that we cannot control it. It comes randomly enters. That is the definition says earlier as well. So it comes randomly and enter into our mind, and it start affecting our own emotions. It start changing the state of emotional state, and then if it gets repeated, we got stressful. So these things has this from the just some tinkling in our mind to that stressful thing. So that means that it has got a capacity to have a cascading effect. Cascading effect means domino effect. Means one is falling, another is falling. The whole bunch of the things has fallen down. Or in other way, you can see that it creates some energy momentum. It creates when one event lead to another, and it can increase. You might have heard the avalanches in the very high level of snow mountains. So very high level, higher altitude. There's some snow-clad mountains. They said that don't disturb it too much, don't shout or don't create some vibration. It can dislodge some chunk of snow or some ice from somewhere, and that started rolling, and it can slowly it become an avalanche. Like it attracts many more things, and it will be a huge flow of the snow and ice. There was some video also, some of the mountaineers or some photography was taken showing that how it happens, that it started small, slowly becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, same thing it happened. So this is called energy momentum. It picks up the momentum and then dislodge many things on its path. It becomes so powerful. Then also this is that the second characteristics. Also there is another characteristics also. We open up. We may not get something from where these kind of things are entering into our mind. One I said is some external event, but without any external event also it is possible to pick up thoughts. Okay, the initiating factor which triggers. This is come from we can say the collective mind of the earth. Okay, a lot of people, some maybe now it is about almost 8 billion people. So all these people's, the collective thoughts, they are in the magnetic field. As we operate from here, we get, we have our own internal antennas and all those kind of things. So we get picked up some collective thought, and that thought then affecting us. So the nature of thought, what massive level of people are thinking, that we also get affected by the collective thinking of the human being on planet Earth. So we may pick up something, it is not originated inside, neither it is triggered by some external event, but we still pick up something which is negative in nature, and then it would be we picked up from the collective thoughts or collective mind of the planet Earth. It also measures that the vibration of the planet Earth. Let us go back to Dr. David Hawkins, that vibrational, the model, the cone. So 250 below is negative, and this has been collectively, the human thoughts are mostly negative. It was earlier, it was studied about 206 and that range collectively, in all good people, bad people, whatever people, all together, collectively, resultant. It is below 250. So that's why it's overall, our experiences on planet Earth is negative, because it's collectively negative thoughts, the collective mind. So those are negative and we get affected, even though masters are working to come out of that. But the threshold point to coming out of that is minimum 6% of that, the population has to go much beyond that. So to operate from 500 plus so that they get affected, it is a spiritual direction. It will happen eventually, but still now it has not happened. So this collective mind of planet is still negative, even though there were some terminology, and they call there is a energy gunk on the surface of the earth. What the gunk is. Maybe somebody can explain better to me. Anybody here in the group can tell what is the gunk? What is the right definition or analysis of the gunk? If not, then I will try to do something. If you know, raise your hand. Otherwise, I will try to explain this. Yeah. Okay. So, see, the gunk is something which is, some spoiled liquid or something. There is some formation on top of it. Some thick layer happens on the top of it, which is full of contamination and full of what is called the rotten things or something of that nature. That's called gunk. So what it is told that energetically there is a gunk formation happened all over this collective mind, and that's why they are negative and they're affecting the people who are living it. You need a lot of power to get rid of that and escape from that. Otherwise, we get sucked into this kind of collective thought mind of this planet Earth. Yeah, so that is what it is. So what I am saying, that is also a source of that. So how it affects each other, even though they are not communicating, it can affect many people. One example is at the time of, say, COVID, when it happened, people got fearful. When there is no vaccine, nothing, there is one time, they don't know what to do. They're trying this method, that method, and all those things. Some is working, some is not working. The rate of thing is increasing, and we are not sure how to control it, what to happen. There was a phase. Then automatic thing was people got fearful. Yeah. So, and that fear you can feel in the air. Means you can, anybody will become fearful, even though they have not talked to anyone and all those kind of things, but still, or interacted with somebody, but still they can get that energetic vibration. They can have it inside, so that you can pick up. Opposite is also true, means you can, if some environment itself has a positive vibration, or there is, at least there is no negative thought, absence of negative thoughts, you will pick up the higher vibration and you can experience a very uplifting feeling. So this kind of things also happen when particularly the places of worships, where a lot of people pray and together, the environment of that is changed. So collectively, then when you enter, simply by entering into that energy space, you will change. You will not get dragged into any kind of negative thoughts and all those kind of things, and rather you feel like a calm and peaceful and that kind of atmosphere. I'm sure you have felt that many places. And this is also true if you come in contact with the people who are vibrating at a very high level, spiritual masters and all. You come to their vicinity, come in touch with them, or interact with them, and your vibration goes up. The environment that creates that also automatically goes up. So they need not to do anything. So they just be. They express themselves. That energy comes automatically. You get into their energy field. So it not always necessarily physical proximity. If you just get an energetic connection, that also helps. So you get into that, and they have a power to stop even your negative thinking mind. So just simply by presence of a master, your negative thought stops. Okay, I'm just telling you for the what is called for information point of view. So that's why there is a difference between when suppose a meditation, because these are every time we do. There's a difference between you try to meditate somewhere else and in the presence of master. Simple, same meditation, same technique. There is no such difference in the technique and all this thing. It's you only, you are meditating, but you see the experiences will be different. Because here your thought mind has not that kind of power to drag you into the negative direction much, because you are in the domain of that high energy, powerful energy, and that creates the environment for you to go into your the experiences which not affected by those negative thoughts. Okay. Anyway, so these are the ways we get the characteristics, and that we get into that. And now let me come to the level of how to work on that. Let me see what are the questions or what are the topics I have posted already. in-depth analysis of effects of negative thinking, how to deal with negative thoughts. Yeah? So first 3 points I think already discussed. Now I'll start discussing how to deal with negative thoughts. See what happens as a thought, as I said, that they enter into our mind and the awake state, about 60,000 thoughts passing through our mind. And as I explained earlier, most of the content of those thoughts are negative in nature. So, and this creates some emotions, and that emotion then finally affecting our state of mental state. And if it repeats too much, then negative. If we create negative loop, we get stressful, and that stress finally it can affect our own health. Our health. As our mind is affected, it will impact the health as well. So that overall, our experience of life will be deteriorating. That's how it affects our life. So first step to address this, some practical tip, I should say that first you contemplate, sit alone with a journal. Journaling is one of the techniques. It is a psychological techniques, or you can also initially help you to walk the spiritual path. Try to find out, investigate yourself. Nobody else will be involved here, so it is only between you and you. So you first investigate the why you need to stop that negative thinking. Now, why to get rid of negative thinking? What is the purpose? Then you will come to realize of your own journaling. You list out that why would you want to do that. First and foremost, you wanted to do that because you feel bad when they pass through or when it creates that. If you are enjoying that, you do not have bother about these things. It will not affect your life. It will help your life to enjoy your life. But things that these negative emotions creates you to feel bad, So that is the primary reason you need to work on this. So why you feel bad? Because it creates negative emotions in you. What are those negative emotions? Then if you try to list them, then it is fear, distress, stress, anxiety, guilt, shame, and anger. Okay. Should I repeat? Fear, distress, or frustration, stress, then anxiety, then guilt, then shame and anger. Okay, these are the emotions it creates, and it makes you feel bad. So that is the starting point of your why you wanted to stop it. So for individual cases, things may be different, or their affecting percentage may be different. You find out your own percentage, which one is mostly being created and what is the impact of that is. Okay. So this will help you to objectively to look at this and see that why you need to work on this, why you just cannot live with it or things like that. So this will help you to determine yourself to work on this path. Okay. So then you so how then this is about the identifying the need for working on you. And most of the people what they think is they wanted to try to replace the negative thought with positive thoughts. It's called positive reinforcement. And our Shweta is here, right? Shweta?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In this college, I have given that presentation. No, what was the topic of the presentation? You remember?
Sir, yes, sir. Scientific, just a second, sir. It was science and spirituality related. Exactly the line I'm
Okay.
not. Scientific
No, that's
spirituality or
yes,
something.
scientific spirituality, and main thing we analyze there that why we feel unhappy in life. Okay. And then we investigated on that, and finally we have come to realize that this positive and negative thinking, the positive reinforcement, it will never work. So, and why we cannot work, we have been studied there in detail, and that's what I refer to, that one invited talk I have given to her college where she is teaching. So now the thing is that then we realize, all practical aspects, that positive reinforcement, for temporarily it works, but it doesn't work in the permanent. Means I can only pick up the positive thoughts and reject the negative thoughts. It's not possible. Okay, attempt has been made. Everybody tried their own way, but it didn't work. So in that, it is analyzed in detail that why it didn't work. So now this kind of thing, it will not work because this polarity, it is called polarity. It comes together. We cannot pick up only one side and leave the other. It's like a magnet. Let me see if I can find that presentation, maybe 2 slides. I will just present it right now so that you know what I'm talking about. Just give me a minute.
So then how to see negative and positive together?
Just 1 minute. Let me find out first. Okay. Anyway, so let me explain. I'm not right away. I'm not getting that. Um, I'm not getting that particular. Oh yeah, I think now I got it. Let me share. Kavita, I'll come back to your question. Let me share whatever I am planning to do it here. Can everybody can see my screen? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
Guruji.
Guruji. Yeah, I cannot see you, so just unmute it. Okay. So these are the presentations given. Okay. Yeah, this is the analysis what I was talking about. So this is the analysis. So 1 minute. Yeah. So it is saying that self-analysis. I hope you can read it. Say yes or no, somebody.
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. First is why. I will read it. Then you can go with me. Why we cannot be happy all the time. So it says that because our mind cannot hold this positive state for a long time due to some negative events keep happening around us. These external events change our state of mind from positive to negative. This is my own research, what I pointed it out here in the question answer form. All of us, we ask this kind of questions to us ourselves for some time. So second question, how negativity enters into our mind? Then answer is outside events inject negative thoughts in our mind, which is our topic for today. Yeah. we generate negative emotions. This way we lose our state of happiness. Third is why we allow negative thought to enter in the first place. Third is we have no control over our thoughts. Even though we do not want, still negative thoughts keep coming. Fourth question is, have you tried to allow positives only and reject all negatives? The answer is tried to filter only positives to enter in our mind, but never succeeded. Why we cannot get only positive without any negative? So this is analysis. I have given an example of a bar magnet. So if you suppose you want to take the north pole only, then try to break and take the north side out, it will develop another pole within that. New north-south pole develops. If you keep breaking in the purpose of taking the north pole out, in this case, only the positive out, drop the negative, it will never happen. Because this is a part of the polarity, it comes with its own. You cannot take away one side of the coin, only tail and leave the head or vice versa. If you wanted to take the head, both will come together. That's what it means. And then to get rid of any polarity, then the conclusion is from my own that this research, we concluded to get rid of any polarity, we need to let go both and become neutral or zero state. That is the way to get rid of polarity. That means that only positive without taking the negative is not possible. If you wanted to get out of the negative thing, then you have to go to zero, not the positive. You have to drop both positive and negative, so you can become a neutral. And that is how you can get out of this negative thought. All right, so I will just stop sharing. You can see my face back again.
Yes.
Yes, Guruji.
Okay, fine. So now, so this is that with this analysis, with this tip, we have to go further or working on that. So it means that we cannot, if we attempt to change the negative with the positive thoughts, that has been not possible. We have to filter it out. It is not possible. And all those things I just explained with this magnet. And so because we're attempting something which is not possible, it's an idea, but that idea failed in my case. In that research is shows that. So now let us start working how to be zero, how to be neutral. First thing to get neutrality, to achieve the neutrality, is we have to go one step higher. It is not possible in the practical level. We have to need the power of our soul to get into it, to help us to get rid of negative thoughts. How to do that? First, you recognize yourself. Recognize who you are. You are not this small, physical body with a mind and intellect and operating here. Most of us, that is called ego. Most of us, we are not that. Not most of us, all of us, we are not that. We are much, much multidimensional being. So this particular thing is just only limited part of ourselves. Yeah? So like what happens is we are like our consciousness is like an ocean. And out of that, we take a very small amount of, so we take a small container and, of that water and hold it there for a few days. Automatically some say fungus or whatever, maybe some develop, some small insects or whatever. So now we look at that container and thinking that, I am contaminated. So many negative things are out there. That it is appearing to be that because you take a small, part of it out of that what you are, the ocean. And you are looking at it with that small thing and analyzing it. So what is the way forward? Put it back to the ocean. And you experience yourself, which is the truth. Experience yourself, the ocean version of yourself. You are the consciousness, the soul consciousness. If you do that, then the limitedness which is created by you will go. And whatever the ocean offers, that's the characteristic, that will be your part. So when you approach from there, this small container practically will not exist. You will take it back everything, and it will neutralize everything. So through that, it is you have to connect with your consciousness to do that. Okay. And secondly is also our tip is to finally to do that, you should be able to observe that. So you cannot be within that. If you are operating within that container, you don't know there is ocean outside. No? So you have to come out of that. So that practice, that you are looking at your life from an independent point. I'm not saying go back to ocean. I'm saying you should come out of that to watch it. And that particular technique, spiritual technique, is called witnessing. We learn how to witness, how to come out of that small contaminated dabba and look at it from independent position. It is our own thing only. It's a part of us, but you have to look at it, and that's how we do our reading. Our thoughts are passing through. Then you are not affected by it because you are an observer. You are not getting into that thoughts. Then next will be, once you are aware with all those things, you can watch your thoughts passing, but without analyzing the contents. You get detached from it. So detachment is also important. There is some negative thought passing, but you are not interfering in it. We also, aloof attention. So we are not getting affected by the content of it. It is passing, but you are not getting affected by it. And this also you can say that why you are not getting affected by it, because you are operating from a higher scale. If you operate from the consciousness, say like a sky, blue sky, the blue sky, the vastness of that sky, what you truly are, it is not affected by the weather. If you are below that, if you feel you are under that, then only you will affected by the weather. Some say cloud came and thunderstorm is happening and all. It will not affect blue sky. That weather will come and go. Okay, it will not affect the blue sky. Okay, it may cover it temporarily, do some drama, but it will not get affected. Blue remain blue, and the vastness will remain the vastness. The weather cannot change the capacity and characteristics of the blue sky. Okay. So this is that the vastness of the sky, it cannot be changed. So if you just look at that, into that, maybe a few type of clouds may be floating in your consciousness, like the thoughts, let it be, it's okay. So detachment is the key. You need not to be carried away with this. You need not to think that this is all of the sky when it's raining or thundering and all those kinds of things. Only thing, you have to go beyond the cloud level so that you are operating from a higher level. And that is possible with the vibration, the energy, we're going to the higher level of vibration, and you go beyond the cloud level. So it will not touch you anymore. And the final thing is that this negative thinking to that is, wherever you are giving attention, you are not get affected, but you are witnessing. Now you are bringing attention. You are aware. It is within your awareness. Yeah? I'm not saying you don't look at it. I'm saying you look at it. Now I'm saying, and focus on it without analyzing, without these things. If you focus on those thoughts, then you get connected. The power of consciousness will flow through your attention. Your awareness has a power to dissolve the negativity of the thoughts. Okay, I repeat, your consciousness has a power to melt down or dissolve all the negativity of the thoughts, or whatever which is causing the disruption in your life. So if you just simply witness, the power of witness will make those negative thoughts to disappear. It cannot last. It cannot last long. During rain, a small pocket of things, water has been stuck here and there, and all those things. When the sunlight comes, it all evaporates. So like that, if the power of awareness comes into all those negative pockets, that get evaporated and it disappear on its own. You need not to analyze. It will happen automatically. So that is the way to permanently go out of those kind of negative things, and it doesn't trigger anymore. It all starts with going beyond that level or the vibration higher, and use your power of consciousness by simply giving the attention. Bring it to your awareness. It will dissolve. You need not to do anything. So, and that's what it happens, and then you are elevated from this level to which will you're suffering with the negative thoughts to the level when you operate with your consciousness level, and it will not affect you anymore. With this, I'll conclude this learning session. So, if you have any question, so you're welcome to ask me. Kavita, you are asking something. You can ask now.
Sir, I wanted to know about how to see things totally, means negative and positive both at the same time.
No, you witnessing. That is, we practice now witnessing. During meditation, we witness our thoughts. So that is the technique you have to use to see what are the thoughts passing through your mind without getting affected by the content. No analysis. Okay, it should be aloof attention. So that is the technique we use to know what is passing through on our mind. Hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Okay. Any other question? Shashi, go ahead.
Yeah,
Hello.
so
Yes, yes, please continue.
okay, my question is like uh, this awareness. Sometimes I've seen that like if there um, is, say argument or difference of opinion, sometimes there is awareness and I'm able to um, stop at it. Sometimes there is no awareness, so obviously I get into this one. And sometimes is it possible to both the things exist at the same time? Because there is awareness which is seeing that okay, the mind is going in that direction, but at the same time there is also ego which is like I have to prove this point kind of thing. So awareness is the death of ego, right? But while we are still walking the path, I'm seeing that sometimes there is both are existing um, in
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, yeah. See, awareness is always there. It is the level of awareness that matters. We are always aware, but only the level of awareness, whether using the part of our awareness or not, power of our awareness, that is the question. Okay. So as we are operating from the lower level, so we give importance to our ego. So that's why the mind takes control. And then we get affected into it time to time. Then we realize, oh, my mind is dragging me down. I'm practicing and coming back. It's okay. Yeah, it is on and off kind of situation that everybody undergoes that. But its starting point is at least you are aware that your mind is taking you down. This part is aware. There are many who even they don't realize they are getting, tricked by their mind, and they are going into some direction with no awareness that it is our mind is taking us there. So at least if you are there, whether sometime it is controlling you, it's okay. You accept that. Acceptance is the first key to get liberated from it. Okay. You accept, yes, I get sometimes dragged into this, so that is fine. That means you are aware that you are getting dragged into this, and then you start working on that. Be more vigilant, observe that. First thing something happens, instead of reacting, you look inside and then you respond, not react. Slowly it is a skill. It will develop in your own, you will internalize that, then you will never react. It will automatically, you will go to that and you create the appropriate response that will happen. Okay. So this is the way to deal with this. Okay.
And awareness, more and more awareness can be developed by practicing more and more witnessing of
Oh,
thoughts.
yes. Yeah.
That is the key
That
to
is
awareness.
awareness development. Yes.
Okay.
That is a skill. All right. Okay.
Thank you,
Yes.
Guruji.
Yeah. God bless. Jayanto, go ahead.
Yes, Aarti sir, the thing is that you told that to get rid of the negative thought, witnessing the thought is one way. Another
Hmm.
way is meditation. So, in the same way, pranayam can also heal the negative thought, and how? And minimal kriya also get rid of negative thought, and how? That's it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, good question. See, all it does, it is a spiritual practice, whether it's an animal kriya or any other. There are many methods. We are not claiming this is the only method and this is the best method. There is no claim here. There are many methods, which is called kriya. Kriya means spiritual practice. What it does, it raises your vibration, and when you raise the vibration, then you have a power to disconnect yourself from the thoughts. It gives you power to disconnect and look at it objectively. Means you already, like you earlier, suppose at the analogy point of view, you are on the ground, you are inside a small pond. Now you are able to come out of the pond and looking the pond from outside. So there makes the difference. You know what it is doing, and you know how small it is, how contaminated it is, and all those things. So more and more you do spiritual practice, you go high and high, like a flying like a bird. Then go further higher, more you go higher, then you can see in the totality there what is happening and all those kind of things. So that becomes part of your awareness. Okay. So it changes your vibration to go high, and that is the reason of the change. Okay. It can happen through any true spiritual practices, and that changes the vibration. You get that. That's how you attain that kind of power, and you become more and more into awareness, because higher the vibration you go, you can see the things from the totality, from the outside rather than within. Like normally, I give an example of a boat. If you are within the boat, how fast the boat is going, where it is going, and all, it may not be possible to know all the time. So what are the other things can affect that boat? But if you stand in the bank of a river and watch the boat, then you know which direction it is going, how fast it is going, what are the other elements involved, where is the possibility some rock is coming, it can hit there, and things like that. Okay. So this is the first thing is come out of that, and then you watch that the movement, and that will give you that is the way to deal with these things. So that answers your question, Antam?
Yes, yes. You told that any spiritual practice, including pranayam, including nirmal kriya, can do that.
Yeah. Yes. Can raise the purpose is raise the vibration. How much it
Yeah,
does, that
yeah.
depends upon the technique and the practice, and how many times it is done.
Sorry, disconnected.
No, that time was over. That was 1 hour, so that's what I posted a new link. We'll continue in this one. All right, I think almost all are joined back. Welcome back. Because normally the one session in the Google Meet is 1 hour. So after that, we have to post a new link. So, and I like that. I normally post into the group. So, no need of introduction. And again, in the second session, we'll directly go ahead with the question answer session we are doing. If anybody else has got any question, just come forward and ask your question.
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam, Hari Om.
What I have understood is that suppose I am staying on a ground floor in a multi-floor building and everybody is throwing the rubbish things on ground floor. The best
Mhm.
way to get disconnected is to take a lift and move to 10th floor or 12th floor.
Correct.
So I hope that is a correct understanding, Guruji.
That is correct understanding. So rather than controlling everybody else, fundamental message is rather than controlling everybody else, you reposition yourself so that you don't get hit by all those things. Yeah. So that is, you are right. So that is a
Thank
thing
you.
has been told. But raising here in case of the elevator equivalent in our spiritual path is your own vibration,
On by.
cellular vibration, PEVF. You raise your PEVF, things will happen on their own. You cannot, you have no control. First thing, anything goes wrong or something as per your assessment, first you think, is it my direct control? If the answer is no, then it is not your job to do it. People are trying in the name of their duty and all those kind of things and to do good for others, do good for the world, and they get sucked into all those kind of things. But the world changes when you yourself change yours first. What Mahatma Gandhi says, no, what are the good you wanted to see in the world, and apply it on yourself, start with you. And that way it will possible, because we cannot change somebody else. Only thing we can change ourselves, and you can energetically, we can come to a level when we can contribute energetically. So that is the right thing to do. You work on yourself, then automatically things around you will change. And even if you doesn't get changed, that you will not affect you anymore. So that is the key to get liberated. As I said in the beginning, during presentation, that it is the key is within, not without, not from external. The key is internal. It is your life experience need to change. Changing the world is not possible. Hmm. There was like the drama, I think, written by Rabindranath Tagore, Juta Aviskar. You know, uh, so here finally the outcome, that king, his feet got dirty and he wanted to cover his kingdom with a leather. Yeah. So that is not possible. Finally, they have find out that is the leather to cover the feet, so that wherever he goes, no, dirt outside can touch his feet, and that's how the shoes are discovered. Yeah, that is a
Wonderful.
theme. Yeah, that is a theme. So, what message is it? Even though you're a powerful like that king, don't go to the project to correct everything else in the external world. It is not possible. You cover yourself, and so that you know energetically you protect yourself, your experience and things like that, and your life will change. Yeah.
Thank you,
All right.
Guruji.
Yes. God bless you. Yeah, Monali, go ahead. Unmute,
Guruji,
unmute.
I don't know. I have this doubt. Yeah, I have unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Uh, I have a doubt like this in my mind. Does negative thoughts get manifested faster than positive thoughts? Is it like that, or it is my wrong understanding?
No, you have a right understanding. That thing I explained, because you live in a negative environment. The collective mind on planet Earth is negative. That's what I was explaining, because we pick up those things. That is why by default our thoughts are negative in nature, because we live in the pool of negative things, electromagnetic field of negative thoughts. It is not your own. You are not generating it. You are picking it up. So as
Okay.
I was telling, that one way is if you change the environment, it will change. Like if you relocate yourself to some place where it is vibration is all positive, your thoughts will become positive. You automatically something, your response will be something completely different. Okay, but that is not possible to leave that place and go to some place which is that, and that is exactly the reason why there are yogis and all, they leave the world and go to the Himalayas and jungles and all, just to do that, to be with the nature, so that they get inspiration from the nature, the positivity of the nature, and that changes their own mind and the vibrations and things like that, to help them. But it is not possible for common people, particularly householders like us. That method is not acceptable. We have to do with this within the given framework, without leaving the place and without controlling the outside environment. That is, we don't have that choice. Permanent, temporarily, yes, we went to go and visit some seashore or some mountain, and that's nothing wrong in that. But you cannot stay there to change your vibration permanently based on the nature. It's not possible in today's age. Okay. Okay, Vikas, you
Thank
wanted
you,
to ask
Guruji.
something.
Yeah.
Nego, I'll come back to you. Nego, I seen your
Uh,
hand raised. Yeah, Vikas, go ahead.
RPA, I want, can you elaborate on this 6% what you said that Guru Mandala is trying?
Okay,
Can you elaborate a little?
okay. No, what I said is the part the Guru Mandala for the time being. It's not about Guru Mandala. Okay. What I said in the population on planet Earth. Okay, if the 6% of them is going spiritual, means more than 500 hearts PEVF, like heart and above 500. Okay, if 6% goes the spiritual path, then consciousness of the earth will change. The negative thing, that collective, what is called collective mind, and the pattern of that art will break, and the shift will happen towards the positive. You know, that is the 6% is a threshold. 6% population vibrating more than 500 hertz as a PVF. All the spiritual masters are working towards that, and the fact is, it is true that mass awakening is happening. It will cross. It was sometime. It was earlier. It should have been earlier, but never mind. But it is going to a positive direction. Many are now adopting the spirituality, and all over the world. It's not in India alone or something like that, or it is belong to only the spiritual people, and it's a mass level it is happening. And in fact, our today's program, or our, it is a proof that how many people are interested in to onto this walking the path and all those kind of things. So that is what the internal change has already started happening. Only as a matter of when it will cross that threshold, and then you will see the effect on the external world. So that is the thing. It's a mass consciousness, and vibration goes more than to positive direction. To do that, 6% of the population has to vibrate at a higher level. Higher means 500 plus the spiritual domain. Okay. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Pan.
God bless you. Yes, Nego, go ahead. Nego, unmute yourself and go ahead. All right. I think it is by mistake or something. So anybody else has
No,
got
no,
any?
yes, Rajdeep, yes, I have come back.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, Rajdeep. This my question is the first I want to make up just rejoinder to whatever reply you have given to Shreyashi regarding that
Mm,
uh, mm, that reaction and the response. Okay. What it is, I just want to share my experience on this topic. That
Okay.
that
Okay.
I had also, I used to react and all these things. But as you advise, since the day I have started during meditation, I have started surrendering myself to my free will to Babaji. Okay, I am totally surrendering my free will to Babaji every day. Since then, I have noticed that my reaction has reduced. My reaction has almost gone. I always respond on something like that. That is a positive thing which happened to me. Just want to share. Okay.
Great.
Now,
Okay.
now my question is that, say I'm in a group or some in front of somebody who is having a negative vibe around him. Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, I can feel that it's full of negative energy or something.
Yeah.
And you
Yes.
advise that in this case, just to draw two anti-clockwise circles and cross it. Okay,
Hmm.
so just to
Correct.
insulate yourself from that person. But how
Yeah.
do I do that? If in front of that person, it will look very odd. If I
Hmm.
do it mentally, will it
Hmm.
go? Do the purpose?
Oh, yes. Okay. So what I said is, I just repeat, in the third eye, you intend that there is a beam is coming and there is an imaginary screen, and on that screen you are doing two anti-clockwise circle and a cut. Right? Okay. Right? That's
Okay.
that's what you are talking about. Correct.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
yeah. So in this, what you do, if a person is in front of you and you create the imaginary screen, you don't need any movement or any gesture to do that. You just intend. It's within your mind. You intend that screen is there. Correct? Only during the third eye thing, you reduce this movement. Okay, movement of your head. That's all. So that nobody can realize that you are doing something. Okay, just do as minimum as possible like this, and that's enough. Means you need
Okay.
not to do like this.
Okay,
So
well, I
no
understand
need.
that. I understand this.
Just give little bit of this, and that's it. And like a, don't go beyond the normal movement of the head level. Okay,
Mhm.
like we move our head, no, like that. If you do this, and nobody will see it something extraordinary or something is happening. So by that you can do that. You can invoke that, and same energetic disconnection will take place. No issues at all. Hmm. Even if your head movement is not mandatory, if without moving the head, if you can draw it, that is also fine. Hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rafi.
Okay. All right. Okay. God bless you. Okay. Any other question? Yes, Nirupam, go ahead.
My question I have actually noted in my in our group actually. In the message from the Mahavata Babaji, he has mentioned
Oh, yeah.
being the
Hmm.
expression of pure light. So what does it mean actually?
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good, good. That reminded me. Yeah. So that I posted in the group, I said, please ask me during this question and answer session. Okay. So this message, as you know, when I channel the message of Babaji or any master or the divine being, my mind is not active. So I personally, I don't remember that. Yeah. I also sense them when it is happen through that your you read it or somebody else let me know that this is what has happened and all those kind of things. So then I can remember. That's what I told you, please remind me. So what you written, can you elaborate? Being the expression of pure light, that Mahavatar Babaji's message, it is there. So now let me explain that what is meant. So ultimately, primordial energy which created the universe, spiritual energy I'm talking, I'm not talking about any physics energy like electricity and thermal heat and what is called mechanical energies and all this kind of things. Yeah? So nuclear energy, I'm not talking about those things, about the physics. Yeah. So we are talking original, the spiritual energy, the subtle energy which created the universe. And those ultimately the two things. One is the pure love and pure light. Okay, these two energies. Yeah. which created the whole universe. The pure love we already discussed and all those kind of things. And last year was for us to go into developing to bring the pure light, pure love within us. And the path was, very uncommon. Like it is a lot of struggle. Like I gave an example earlier that when a butterfly gets his wing, before the phase before that is a part of a struggle. The cocoon, it wants to break the what is called earlier the caterpillar converted into butterfly. The caterpillar form the cocoon, and then when the time comes, become a butterfly. It has to struggle to get out of that shell or that cocoon to come out, and in the struggle the wings comes out from the caterpillar and it gets a butterfly. The beautiful wings comes out. Last year was with all divine guidance of master. The many masters are working in the background, are guiding many thousands in this regard. So they are helping to everybody to go through that process. The way of look at it is normal way of looking at it is particularly the negative thought way of looking at it. What is our topic today? To look this struggle as some punishment. So last year, again and again, Babaji is giving me message. Even in my personal life also, a lot of things happens. Again and again, Babaji is reinforcing it is not a punishment, it's a process. Okay. This process to struggle to get your wings out so that you can fly high with as a beautiful butterfly on the spiritual domain, an equivalent thing. Yeah. So that's the pure love. When it evolved, it needs that kind of so-called struggle to come out to express ourselves. So we felt that not of things which is something happened. Some people has undergo some kind of death in the family in the COVID and post-COVID, lot of things, and lot of things, dynamics changes in the practical life, social life, and the professional lives, and all these kind of things. They have undergone many kind of struggles, but in that the struggle, ultimately there are massive screening happened. Okay, in that thing, what happened is the few people get dropped out. They dropped out. They said all these things are useless, and I have to take care of myself first. Whatever be the reason, they convinced themselves, they got out. But those are who meant to have that butterfly, that the wings, they withstand that pain and suffering, so-called, and come out as the butterflies with the wings. Okay, they understand that power and the process they need. Otherwise, you keep on that lot which is no longer interested in spirituality. Yeah, they get dropped out. We will see in our group also many people left. It's okay. I'm not judging. What I'm saying is they are not ready for this transformation. So that transformation has happened to bring the pure love within us and connect with the creator with the pure love. Yeah. So the expression, we can operate from that pure love, even though we suffered a lot personally ourselves. But those are the process that is needed. So to undergo that and come to this level. Now the second part of that is to to work on the pure light. This light is not the physical light or sunlight or any other daylight and electric bulb light. It is not that. This is not related to physics. This is the light of awareness. This year we'll be learning that how to our awareness level evolved, so that it is so our own understanding experience will help us to do that, to increase the level of awareness. The masters are guiding us, even there whoever in contact with them, and they are getting this channeled message and things, all those things, all masters working, blessings of Babaji is already there. So now it is a time to enhance our level of awareness. So the level of awareness has to go to the such certain way that we become the source of the light ourselves. Till now, whatever we are doing is that we were reflecting the light of, say, Babaji or somebody, some masters or spiritual light, and we are just getting it and distributing it. Okay. It is like that holding a mirror and where the sunlight's and being reflected. Hmm. It looks like a sunlight, that's fine, but it is not our own light. Hmm. This year we will be learn how to be light, how to be the source which just being present will emanate life from us. The light of awareness. Yeah, we are energetically sovereign being. We are independent being. We are unique being. Hmm. We need not to depend on anyone else. Hmm. Of course, no disrespect, but ultimately, our light within us has to glow. Even though the light may not be the sunlight in the beginning, it can be the light of a small lamp. That's fine, as long as it is our own. So what Babaji's message says, in this year, you'll be guided to be that light, to open up your awareness inside you, so that you can emit light of your own. Yeah. So it is normally, I give an example of a flower. Like the flower, you can bloom the flower and it gives its own fragrance. It will be unique to you. So we will learn how to go there and be the light. That's what is meant in the Babaji's message. That's what my understanding. Okay. All right. God bless you. Any other question? Everybody got thoughtless, I think. Yeah. So listening to Babaji's this message. All right, let us go to the meditation then. Now, so
Guru,
six. Yeah,
Guruji,
go ahead.
it's not a question. I want to ask you the way I feel Saturday and Sunday because of this meditation and satsang. I feel very happy. So how I can keep that happiness throughout the week. I want a solution actually.
No, it is simple. You practice Kriya daily, 108 stomach breathing in the morning. Kriya daily and meditate on your own. You will be able to retain that state. If you allow some external event to change your state, then that goes. Okay. So there is no magic formula. Just simply keep the practice so that you will retain this.
I do, but the way I feel Saturday and Sunday, the happiness I feel because of this,
Yeah.
I do meditation and Kriya, but whole week I don't feel that happiness. I do Kriya and
Okay.
meditation, so
So I
I
will give
want to
you.
say,
Okay. I will give you some क्या बोलते हैं, shortcut formula. Okay. Shortcut formula. Okay. So
okay.
shortcut formula is, whatever be your experience, you tell that this is the experience I'm having. Don't judge. It is not like Sunday, not like Saturday. There's something wrong in me. That's not, I'm not been able to achieve that. Yeah. Stop that thought only. Okay. Accept that. You're sitting in the meditation, a lot of negative thoughts coming. You tell yourself, this is the best possible spiritual experience I'm having. Everything is divine. All thoughts are divine. Don't judge. Don't judge, don't compare. Okay. You just trick yourself into accepting that this is spiritual. Your experience will change. The more you go to the compare and the judgment, more you get dragged into this kind of feeling that it's not good enough. Okay. And you may go into some further down and say that I am not good enough and I'm not worthy and things like that. Yeah. Accept whatever it comes, even though I'm saying, even though negative thought comes, you treat that it is your spiritual experience. Eh? That moment you are supposed to feel those negative, supposed to undergo those negative thoughts. That is also divine. If you can go there, that so-called negative thoughts will lose power to control you. because
Okay.
treating them divine. Let me go to one level further. If you treat your enemy as a god, then your enemy will lose the power. Okay. It is not that the Gandhiji said that if you somebody slap you at one cheek, put dusra gaal bhi aage kar do. He's not a fool. So it is coming from a deep spiritual understanding of how it works. Yeah, on the energetic level. So this makes sense. Even if somebody is slapping you, if you consider that you are a divine being, then the power of slap has no control over you. The other party will lose power of controlling you. People are controlling others with a fear. They inject some fear and control. If you are fearless, no, they don't have a power. Okay, the movement what the Gandhiji started exactly following that principle. Do whatever you want, but it will not affect you. It will not touch my resolve. Yeah, and what the girl from Pakistan got Nobel Award prize for the education, children education.
Malala. Guruji
Malala
Malala.
Yusuf.
Yeah. What she said that you can only damage my body, but not my resolve. You can throw stone at me and do whatever it is. That is the power of that. It comes within. So we got powerless after some time. Yeah. So that is the thing. Anyway, I'm not asking you to go and expose yourself to harm. I'm not saying that. No. One of the principles is protect yourself physically, because a lot of people are there to sitting there just to harm others. Yeah. You have to protect. But what I'm saying is, don't allow them to change your state of mind, which is now the topic of today. No? Our life is our whatever the things we have, the experiences. Our experience will change no matter what they're doing. Then we get the power back. We got energetically sovereign to get this power back on us. And the power, where is the source of that power? Is from within. The connection, power of our consciousness. Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Yeah. Hariom, we wanted to ask something. Madhusri, I'll come back to you later.
I just told about that Malala, that lady
Okay.
from Pakistan.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Madhusri, go ahead. Go ahead, Madhusri.
No, sir, this is by mistake, I think.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, all right. I think Monali, still your hand is up. You have any further question? Okay, fine. Okay, let us go ahead with our Kriya and meditation. So sit straight.